Resolutions? A new calendar year would be incomplete without them, both in the ability to make and keep resolutions. This brings us to the NBA season, which has only been going for 3 months but is only now picking up steam. Teams and players could use a few pledges and vows to either improve their perspectives or make necessary changes for the benefit of the league. For the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James must be protected at all costs. Because the Lakers are still just a few wins away from finishing in the top 6 in the Western Conference, declaring the season a complete failure would be premature. However, if the Lakers continue to struggle after Anthony Davis returns from yet another injury absence, they should change course and prioritize LeBron's health. Because after that, the focus of a team and its players will be solely on the upcoming season. The Lakers are unlikely to make a significant trade before the deadline because they don't have much to offer. Adding another role player will not help them either. If things continue as they are, LeBron's workload will have to be reduced once he passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time scoring record, which, at this rate, will happen in late February. If he decides to stay in Los Angeles after this season, he will be protected for his 21st season, and his 38-year-old body will be spared. Despite his high level of play, the Lakers cannot take his advanced age for granted. Even though it's difficult to believe after watching him score 47 points on his birthday. The Memphis Grizzlies must be humble. To be clear, many people admire the young Grizzlies' audacity. They enjoy themselves and are amusing, fearless, and self-assured. Everything is fine now. Memphis, on the other hand, occasionally crosses the line between confidence and cockiness while also acting disrespectfully. Klay Thompson of the Warriors, who has 4 times as many rings as the Memphis team, returned it to them on Christmas Day. The message was clear. First, walk the walk by achieving something significant, such as a championship. The more Memphis struts, the more often it will be used as motivation by other teams. It's probably best for Ja Morant, Brooks, and the others to conserve energy while maintaining a high level of confidence. The Grizzlies will eventually be able to gloat if they continue to improve and maintain their position near or at the top of the Western Conference. The Brooklyn Nets need to bulk up and bring in another big man. Brooklyn ranks 28th in the NBA in terms of rebounding percentage, and despite having the most blocks per game, 6.8, they don't show much fear in the paint. The Nets' lone major flaw may prevent them from competing seriously in the postseason. With the exception of Jared Allen, the Nets haven't had a player with such a significant impact on the front line since Kevin Durant's arrival. No offense is meant for Nick Claxton, a talented young big man who ranks high among NBA players in contested shots. However, he is frequently alone in that regard in Brooklyn, and his body is a little skinny. The Nets could avoid a seller's market, keep the status quo, and gamble. Teams at the bottom of the East and West could put together a package and see what they can get if they start auctioning off rotational players. Assume the Spurs are fine with Jakob Poeltl leaving. With Clint Capella on the Hawks roster, the Nets may also look at the buyout list after the deadline to see who is on it. Be aware that Brooklyn may require an extra body to defeat Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks in the postseason, or that they may have to go through Philly and Joel Embiid. Brooklyn simply gains more defense and better positions the Nets for a postseason run by bringing in a big man. The Milwaukee Bucks must bench Chris Middleton until he is ready. Last spring, a bad wrist injury cost him the playoffs. Due to a strained knee, he has been in and out of the lineup this season. Middleton can't get lucky, and as a result, neither can the Bucks. The Eastern Conference playoffs last season, when they forced the eventual East champion Boston Celtics to a 7-game series, demonstrated how much they needed him. Middleton must be as fresh as possible for the Bucks in the spring. Milwaukee's potential as a team is very limited. With the exception of Giannis Antetokounmpo, the majority of the rotation's key players have reached the pinnacle of their careers. Milwaukee is capable of winning another championship with the nucleus of Antetokounmpo, Middleton, Drew Holiday, and Brook Lopez, but they must all be in good shape by springtime. Instead of competing for the best record in the East, the Bucks should prioritize their health. Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers must be named key MVP. You've probably noticed how close the MVP race is and how many of the contenders are long-term players. The competition will only heat up now that Luka Doncic is averaging triple-doubles of 60 points or more. All of this is bad news for Embiid, the unfortunate candidate. Despite leading the league in scoring and having 2 good chances to win the award the previous season, he finished second to winner Nikola Jokic. Embiid is back near the top of the scoring charts as Philadelphia's last line of defense. However, this year's race is actually better than last year's. If Jokic continues to perform at his previous levels and the Nuggets win the Western Conference, he will most likely win the MVP award for the 3rd time in a row. If Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, and Kevin Durant perform similarly in the Eastern Conference, they will benefit. The Sixers will find it more difficult to give Embiid a record advantage, so they will need to support him in other ways. Give him the ball, watch him work, and then, assuming everything goes well, watch the team win most of the time. The Dallas Mavericks need to get help for Luka. With the Mavericks battling for a playoff spot, it is clear that there is a lack of talent on the roster. Luka Doncic has to get triple-doubles of 60 points or more in order for the Mavericks to win. The Mavericks seem desperate to find help for Luka. They even signed 4-time All-Star Kemba Walker in the hopes that he can give them a boost, while he could potentially help Dallas, especially by providing them with another ball handler. Low-risk, medium-reward moves probably aren't enough to turn the Mavericks into title contenders. Dallas may be squandering another year of Luka's dominance.